Okay, so now I'm going to do the bowl demo. I'm starting with about 5 pounds of clay, so this will make a really large bowl. So if you're doing the nesting bowls, that would probably be the amount of clay you want to do for the biggest bowl. And if you're doing the noodle bowls, you'll want to go down a little from here. This might be more of like a serving bowl size rather than a individual bowl size. So for the nesting bowls, I would say somewhere between 3 and 4 pounds of clay for those. Did I say nesting? I meant noodle. For the nesting bowls, 3 to 4 pounds of clay. Okay, but this is for like a large nesting bowl. Did I say nesting again?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. This video is not going to be great, but noodle bowls, 3 to 4 pounds of clay, nesting bowl, start with 5 and then work your way down like 4, 3, 2 pounds. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm just going to center the clay. Oh, I didn't have this stuck on the wheel. I just set it there. Hopefully it'll stay. Okay. So for bowls, typically you're going to have your tuna can shape be a little bit wider and flatter. It kind of depends though on the type of bowl you want to make. If you want to make a taller, narrower bowl, then you would have a taller, narrower tuna can shape. But typically bowls are a little bit more shallow and flared out than a cylinder. So I'm going to start with a pretty low tuna can shape. Okay, and so for opening a bowl, like especially a large one, sometimes I'll use my fist, and I'll just show you how I do that. Just a little bit of water, and I'm kind of digging in with my knuckle out here. And then I slowly draw my knuckle out. The wheel's medium speed. Another way to open bowls is to use the sponge. And I'm kind of using pressure from both of my hands to push in. And then I slowly am working my hand out and opening it in that round bowl shape. So I'm already creating that rounded interior of the bowl to a certain extent. Let me check the depth here real quick. So that's a little shallow. So I'm going to just push a little bit of this clay back down. So I'm just going to compress this, and when you compress, you want to go all the way up to that top edge that you've opened up. different from cylinders. Cylinders, you've got kind of those two motions where you come straight out, or you go down the 45 degrees and then you come straight out. With bowls, it's all just kind of one rounded motion to open it. Okay, and then usually you've got like a little edge here that you want to compress down a little bit into the rest of the clay. Just kind of smooth that out. And then now we're ready to move on to bringing up the sides. And with this, you don't want to do the coning in like you do with cylinders. It's going to be just mostly going straight up, getting the amount of clay you want up into the walls of the bowl, and then shaping it out, rounding it out. So just a little bit of water on the inside, medium speed on the wheel. There is that real thick area of clay that you do want to kind of bring up and thin out before you start really pulling up the walls. So that's what I did. It's kind of like the motion that you do for coning it and thinning it out, but it's more straight up and down. Okay, and then another thing with bowls, you want to maintain that rounded interior. So I notice when I throw the walls, my inside finger is following that curve all the way up. So that's something to think about. Another thing to remember with bowls is you don't want to let this top edge get too thin, because eventually I'm going to open this up, and as it opens up, it's going to thin that top edge out. So don't let that get too thin. And then another thing is it's good to leave some thickness of clay down here to support the walls of the bowl as they go out too. If you get it too thin and you try and open your bowl out, if it's too thin, they're going to want to just flop down. So all of that extra clay can be turned off later after it gets leather hard. Okay, I'm going to just do one more pull so you can get a little more height, and then call it good. On that pull, I started to kind of bring the wall out a little bit. I'm just going to smooth this interior a little bit, kind of round that back out. A lot of times with bowls, when you're just starting to make them, there's going to be this little hump inside called the beginner's hump that you just have to figure out how to smooth that out, but it's probably going to be there. Okay, so I'm just slowly bringing out the sides. You can just continue to bring out the sides with your hand and the sponge. You can also shape it like you would a cylinder with the metal rib on the outside and your finger on the inside. Another way to do bowls that I like to do is to use the wooden rib, this one that's rounded, and use this rounded edge to just go down the inside of the bowl. You just have to be careful that you don't stick the tip down into the inside of it, so you gotta watch that. But this gives it a really nice rounded interior. Okay, I did pretty good. I don't even have that hump there. sometimes I've been throwing for a long time and I still get that little hump in there sometimes, but I don't have it this time, so I'm getting better. Okay, and I don't want to push it too far. You know, the farther I try to go, the more chance I have of it just flopping over. I'm going to clean up the lip a little bit here. Clean up that little blob of clay. Just really round this out in here. And then another thing that I like to do is alter the edge a little bit, like you saw on some of those pieces I showed you on Pinterest. I'm not going to be quite as intricate as some of those, but I like to find the little holes on the wheel because they help me know, it helps me to make it even. And I'm just pushing in a little bit with this wider edge of the wooden rib. And then the hole that's directly across, just push that in a little bit. And that just gives it a little different shape than just the rounded bowl. Okay, and then I just want to remind you guys how to carefully get your bowls off the wheel. I forgot to grab a bat. Could you grab me a bat over there? Put this on. So plenty of water above and below on the wheel. Thank you. I'm going to take the splash pan off the front. And then I like to get the bat wet as well. Just cleaning off some of this clay on here. So it will slide on. And it's sometimes nice to have your neighbor help hold it in place. I'm going to show you how to do it by yourself. Thank you though. In case you don't have a neighbor to help you if you're in here alone. So you want to grab the water from above and pull it underneath. And with big bowls, you need to do it several times. And then you've got to be quick. Oh, see, it wants to reattach. I'm going to add some more water. And when you push, you want to push right down at the base, because that is the part that you're going to trim. And so it's okay if you get that a little messed up down there. It's going to get trimmed off. That's how you safely get your bowl off. Okay.
Wow!
Yay!
Oh, so good. That was cool.